I'm a little confused, to be perfectly honest with you. And I kind of feel like another show just kind of broke in the middle of The Mandalorian. Well, let's talk about chapter 19 called The Convert. I say this every week, but I kind of feel like I need to. The fact is, I'm going to be talking about story points that happen throughout this episode. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to, I'm going to give it away. So you might as well just come back later or something. Or, you know, do what you want. It's your life, right? But anyway, let's get on with it. So we start off the episode right where we left off on the last one. Din Djarin's still knocked out, or out of it or whatever. Bo-Katan's just kind of staring at the water. He wakes up and they're like, "Hey, let's get out of here." And he's like, "Okay." She's asking him, "Did you see anything? Did you see anything living or anything like that?" He's like, "No." And she's like, "Okay. What about you?" "No." So she just doesn't say anything about the mythosaur, which is kind of interesting. And on the way out, we get let's look. It's a really, really cool space battle, or kind of space. There's some space in there, but the TIE interceptors attack, and she has to drop Din off at his N1, right? And he joins the battle. I mean, it was fun. It was a really, really fun sequence. The only problem that I have, and this is one of those things where, man, look, the visual effects artists out there, I applaud you. I applaud your work. But man, that first shot of the TIE interceptors behind Bo-Katan's ship, man, that looked weird. It looked strange, and it made me go, what's going on here? And then quickly, it's better. It's a lot better. But they actually end up bombing Bo-Katan's home, and she's mad about it. And to get away, basically, Mando's saying, "Hey, I'll send some coordinates your way, and we'll get out of here. It's a secret place." And then it turns into a different show. Now, I'm not saying that the rest of the episode is bad. By no means. I'm confused. I'm confused why there's such this. We've never had a break like this ever in The Mandalorian. So it was a little like, what's going on here? But yeah, we're following Dr. Pershing and him being like reintegrated from the Imperials into society, right? So the New Republic and all that kind of stuff. And he meets up with G68, which her real name is Elia Kane, and she was part of the crew on Moff Gideon's ship. And he's kind of taken aback that she's there, and she's being really friendly to him and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there, and they're walking around. She's showing him around, and like, "Hey, here's this part of Coruscant, that the actual mountain, and you want to go touch it and all this." And they're eating glowy lollipops or something, and I'm sitting there going, "What is going on here? I'm so confused." And this is one of those things that, again, probably in the scope of this season, it will probably make more sense. But it's such a jarring thing, right? And I don't know. But anyway, G68 or Kane convinces him to go outside of protocol, outside of what the New Republic is wanting, because of course he wants to continue his research. They tell him no. She's saying, "Yeah, let's continue your research on the cloning and all that kind of stuff." I have this sneaky suspicion that this is sort of kind of like what happened with the Clone Wars and the prequels. The Clone Wars helped to really contextualize the prequels and made the story really shine from those movies. Like, to me, I say if you don't like the prequels, or you were kind of disappointed with them and you haven't seen the Clone Wars, I can almost guarantee you that the Clone Wars series will really help with your enjoyment of the prequels. I still have problems with those movies, sure, but I kind of feel like that's what we're doing here, and we're trying to, I don't know, fix some of the issues in the sequel trilogy, which is a tough job. But when they are infiltrating this Star Destroyer, I mean, very cool stuff. It looks great, but I'm still sitting there going, why are we being shown this right now? I don't understand. Well, they get caught. Now, apparently, Elia Kane is part of the I don't know. She's kind of tasked by the New Republic to weed out people or something, make sure that people stay in line and all that kind of stuff. She basically turns him in, I guess, in a way. And he's put down on this thing where it's called the Mind Flayer, which I thought that was from Dune. Anyway, or maybe I've got the name wrong. Please let me know if I don't know. Anyway, this thing is supposed to, kind of erase memories or something like that. And there's a Mon Calamari there saying, "Oh no, I've done this myself. It's a wonderful thing." But it's basically it's erasing memories, and it's kind of readjusting people, which is kind of messed up. Well, Elia, while the guy goes for a smoke break or something, she turns up the juice and is sitting there, and it's kind of like, okay. And then immediately we're back to Din and Bo-Katan. Anyway, they get to the location of the cult. Covert section of these people, the other Mandalorians, and they're like, you're not allowed in here. You're an apostate. And he's like, well, I bathed in the waters. Oh yeah, we'll prove it. He brings out a vial. They take him to the armorer and shows it to the armorer, and she's like, yeah, he's basically, hey, he's one of us again. Everything's cool. And then at the same time, Bo-Katan is also redeemed in the eyes of the covert because she also bathed in the waters, and that's where the episode ends. So this is one of those situations where I really enjoyed a lot of the episode. I even enjoyed a lot of the part of the episode that didn't feel like it was The Mandalorian. It felt like a different story being told, like it completely being, like did someone change the channel? What's going on here? I still enjoyed a lot of that. I just don't understand what that is going to have to do with The Mandalorian. I'm not a huge fan of taking something, what I felt was pure about The Mandalorian, it being completely, for the most part, completely separate from the rest of the trilogy, the rest of the saga, I guess you could say. And now it seems like it's being used to maybe repair some of the damage that the sequel trilogy did. I don't like that. I'd rather The Mandalorian, the story of The Mandalorian, remain pure. Do your thing here, and that's cool. Do all that, because that's what we're here for. We're here for Din Djarin. We're here for Grogu. We're not here for, to try to make sense out of, somehow Palpatine returned and all that kind of stuff. Or this is something my wife brought up, which kind of scared me. What if they're trying to bring someone else back? So to be perfectly honest, so far I'm a little worried. I'm one of those people that I try to look at the positive. I try to not dwell on the things that I don't like. I try to focus on the things that are awesome or that I really enjoy. And that's why, for the most part, I was enjoying for most of the sequel trilogy until we started getting all these things from nowhere that just didn't have any setup. And it was like, you're just going down a checklist of Reddit posts or something. And it kind of feels like we're back to some of that. And I just don't understand if that's the case, then no, please don't. Just keep The Mandalorian pure. That's all I'm trying to say. But look, I'm curious. Is anybody else feeling that way? Because apparently I'm the only one that didn't really enjoy the character of Peli Motto or whatever her name is, Amy Sedaris' character. Let me know down below what you're thinking, and maybe you are talking with some of your friends about this. Let's talk about it here. Let's discuss this, because I'm really I'm just confused. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. But they actually end up bombing Bo-Katan's home, and she's mad about it. And yes, there are bombers in Star Wars. There have been bombers in Star Wars since Empire Strikes Back. So, for those of you who don't understand why there are bombers, well, there's bombers in Star Wars.